right, we're live on YouTube.
All right, Roberta, are you ready for us?
I am, thank you.
Okay, we are opening the Creswell Urban Renewal Agency Budget Committee meeting for May 3rd, 2021. As of now, it looks like everybody's present except Councilor Medina has an unexcused absence, and hopefully he joins us soon. I will open with a roll call, and I'll just go by first and last name. Kevin Proccio.
Kevin's here. Proccio.
Misty Inman.
Misty Inman is here.
Alonzo Castilla.
Alonzo Castilla, present.
Shelley Clark.
Shelley Clark is present.
Jerry Hutchinson.
Jerry Hutchinson is present.
Dave Stram.
Dave Stram is present.
Robert Jackson.
Robert Jackson is present.
Philip Smith.
Philip Smith is present.
Christina Corsi.
Christina Corsi is present.
Jonathan Riddle.
Jonathan Riddle present.
Clark Kent.
Clark Kent is present.
Shaman Mickelson.
Shaman Michelson is present.
Sorry, Michelson. And Mayor Knudsen is present, so we're all here. Second item on the agenda is to elect a chair and vice chair. Typically, the mayor doesn't run these meetings and wants to give people an opportunity to chair a meeting, and the budget committee meeting is pretty straightforward. And so if there's anybody that wants to step up and volunteer, or anybody that has a suggestion on who should chair the meetings, the floor is open. I always will defer to Council President, so I will nominate Council President Proccio to be chair of the meetings. If there is a second for that.
I'll second.
That.
Second by Misty Inman, I believe. I couldn't see who that second person was. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Can we say aye, Roberta, instead of going through?
No, I'm sorry. We need a roll call vote.
All right, we'll go through it again, guys. Councilor Proccio.
I will go ahead and vote yes on that one.
Misty Inman.
Misty Inman votes yes on that one.
Alonzo Castilla.
Castilla votes yes.
Shelley Clark.
Shelley Clark votes yes.
Jerry Hutchinson.
Jerry Hutchinson votes yes.
Dave Stram.
Yes.
Robert Jackson.
Yes.
Philip Smith.
Yes.
Christina Corsi.
Yes.
Jonathan Riddle.
Yes.
Clark Kent.
Yes.
Shaman Michelson.
Yes.
And Mayor Knudsen votes yes, so passes unanimously. We also need a vice chair in case our chair can't chair our meetings, and so I'm opening that up for a nomination or a volunteer.
Dave Stram nominates Jonathan Riddle.
All right, Jonathan Riddle is on the floor. Anybody else? All right, I will second that, and we will proceed to vote. Kevin Proccio.
Kevin Proccio votes yes.
Misty Inman.
Misty Inman votes yes.
Alonzo Castilla.
Castilla votes yes.
Shelley Clark.
Shelley Clark votes yes.
Jerry Hutchinson.
Jerry Hutchinson votes yes.
Dave Stram.
Yes.
Robert Jackson.
Yes.
Philip Smith.
Yes.
Christina Corsi.
Yes.
Jonathan Riddle.
Yes.
Clark Kent.
Yes.
Shaman Michelson,
Yes.
and Amy Knutson votes yes. Thank you guys so much. With that, I will hand it over to the chair of the committee, and that is Councillor Prochu.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate the vote of confidence, although for the next meeting, one of you guys got to take a shot at it. I encourage you to. So, but let's go ahead and move on with the approval of the Budget Committee meeting minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look at those, or do we need a little bit of time to review? And I am taking the silence as though everybody has had a chance to look at those. And so I am entertaining a motion to approve those minutes. Or do we want some discussion around those minutes first? Okay, with no discussion, then I am entertaining a motion.
I'll make the motion. I move we approve the Budget Committee meeting minutes as presented.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I will second that motion.
Okay, so there is a motion on the floor, and just want to call for any discussion if there's any that want before we vote. We have that chance. Okay, then we'll go ahead and proceed to vote. And I will start with the order with Mayor Knutson first.
Mayor Knutson votes yes.
And move on to Misty Inman,
Misty Inman votes yes.
Alonzo Castilla,
Castilla votes yes.
Shelley Clark,
Shelley Clark votes yes.
Jerry Hutchinson,
Hutchinson votes yes.
Dave Stram,
Yes.
Robert Jackson,
Yes.
Philip Smith,
Yes.
Christina Corsi. Hopefully I said that right.
You did, yes. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Jonathan Riddle,
Yes.
Clark Kent,
Yes.
and Shaman, and is it Mickelson? I think wanted to make sure I got that right too.
Michelson, it's all
Michael,
good.
okay, that's right.
My-
We did establish that earlier, and I forgot. I apologize. So,
It's been a long time. My vote is yes.
thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, so we have unanimous approval of the Budget Committee minutes. Thank you very much. That moves us on to item number 4, which is public comment on the proposed budget.
Excuse
do we-
me, Chair Prochu,
Yes,
did you vote on that motion?
you are actually correct. I did not vote on that, and I actually vote yes. So that, thank you for that. I think I went too fast. All right, so that does now make it unanimous approval of those minutes. Thank you. That takes us to item number 4, which is the approval, or I'm sorry, the public comment on the proposed budget. Do we have any public comment to hear today?
I do not.
All right. Having no public comment, that moves us to item number 5, which is to receive the budget message. I believe that goes to Finance Manager Piper.
Thank you, Chair Prochu. If everyone would turn to page 5 of the budget document, if you want to follow along, I will read the budget message. Honorable Chairperson, Budget Committee members, and citizens of Creswell, the budget presented herein is the proposed budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021 and ending June 30, 2022. The Creswell Urban Renewal Agency is the only urban renewal district in place in the city of Creswell. It is overseen by the members of the City Council. The Creswell Urban Renewal Agency was enacted through an ordinance of the City Council in August of 2018 with the objectives of eliminating blight and its influences, revitalizing Creswell through attracting new private investment, and enhancing the existing private and public investments in the area. Urban renewal districts are one of the most utilized economic development tools in Oregon. As a tax increment finance tool, urban renewal can be hard to understand. However, the core concept of urban renewal is simple. Urban Renewal takes a small portion of the appreciated value of property in a given area and invests it in projects that are expected to increase the overall value of the district over time, eliminate blight, and stimulate investment. Oregon's experience with urban renewal suggests that this strategy has been generally successful around the state. Strategic investment in key public infrastructure in key public infrastructure projects is a traditional role for urban renewal funds. The investment in these projects is meant to remove barriers for development or spur the economy so that blight is removed and private investment will follow. The proposed budget for fiscal year 2021-22 reflects the continued collection of tax increment and funding a right-of-way purchase that is part of a plan to construct a new roadway as a minor collector from I-5 southbound ramps terminus. Excuse me. We look to the new fiscal year to carefully consider future projects, how to best leverage funding, borrowing capacity, and creative ways to partner with other community organizations in the advancement of Creswell's industrial and commercial lands. Respectfully submitted by myself, your Finance Director, Budget Officer, and Manager Amberg.
Do we have any comments, questions for Finance Manager Piper about the message? All right. I think that's up to you then to carry on.
All right. Do you want me to discuss item 6, the discussion of the proposed budget?
Yes. Yes. Let's go ahead and move on to that one.
All right. Being the beginning of this agency, it's fairly simple. It's a one-pager on page 11. The proposed budget includes a loan of $225,000 and the purchase of the right-of-way between the Super 8 and TJ's restaurant there at the terminus of the I-5 southbound ramp. Last month, the City Council authorized Manager Amberg to negotiate that piece of right-of-way, and this budget just reflects that council action, or rather, excuse me, urban renewal action. That's right, we're talking about the agency. Any questions on the budget as proposed? All right. Well, Chairperson Pro Chu, staff recommends that if the committee so chooses to approve the budget tonight as presented and take this to the City Council, or excuse me, we'll take it back to the Urban Renewal Agency to adopt it.
Thank you, Finance Manager Piper. That's easy to forget the roles and such that we're in when we're doing some of these, and appreciate that. So do we have any questions out there from the committee regarding the budget tonight? It's a pretty simple one here, so this one's a little easier to get through. But now's your time to ask the questions that you would want to know about any of the way that the money might be spent, how that's handled.
Do you want us to raise our hand, Kevin? And is that how you'll acknowledge us, or how are you going to do this?
That would be the best way, actually. Thank you for mentioning that. So yeah, if you want to just hit the little raise hand button there at the top of the screen, then I'll call on you. And I assume you're raising your hand, Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the budget on page 11, Jim.
Correct.
So we received, in terms of resources, 4,900 in 2020-21. That was the budget. So we actually received the 17.3.
Correct.
And then we're projecting 38 for this next year.
Correct. Again, and that's on the conservative side. we never really know how much projects in the urban renewal are going to affect the assessed value of the property. It's whenever there's construction, especially large commercial construction, it can really bump up the assessed values, which will then.
So then my question had to do with the loan bond proceeds of 225,000. Can you explain that?
Okay, very good. That's one of those weird nuances of urban renewal. By law, we have to actually borrow the money first before we can spend it. Strange, but that's just how it's written. I think it's so that once you commit to a project, you're truly committed, and that you'll spend the tax increment on that.
So then we will borrow the 225 for a net of 281. And can you just recap again quickly what the project is? And are we hoping to undertake it and complete it in the next fiscal year?
Sure, Dave. That's the right away between what is the old Super 8 and TJ's restaurant. And it begins right there at the terminus of the road that goes into there from the southbound ramp from I-5. The intent, if you look, in fact, it's in this document as well. We list the urban renewal projects, and I believe it's on page 8. Under A, transportation infrastructure, number 3, new Redway 1. And you can look further into the urban renewal plan. It's also included in our transportation system plan as a proposed new roadway. And what that'll do is serve the industrial lands to the south.
So if I was to look further, where would I actually find that? Is that information provided here, or would I need to go someplace else?
You'll need to get a copy of the plan itself, the urban renewal plan, and we can get that for you.
So this is a roadway that starts at that kind of that 4-way stop area and then shoots back. How far does it shoot actually back into the Bald Knob property?
That is correct.
And it'll be like a double line, I mean, wide enough for trucks and all that kind of thing to get back in there in the future is what we're hoping?
That is the purpose of that. Since the roadway at South Mill won't allow the turning radius is not good for trucking, that's what this new roadway will allow.
If I might add, this is not for a road. This is for right-of-way, which is different from constructing a road. The right-of-way gives us permission, it allows us to buy a portion of land which has permission on it for us to place a road. It is not the road itself.
Thank you, Michelle. I was curious. My next question was going to be, so are we going to rip it up and put new sewer in, new water in, new utilities in, blacktop it? Because $225,000, I thought that's not a lot of money for construction of a whole road. So we're basically buying the property, so we'll own the right of way. So at some point in the future, we can put a road in.
That is correct. Yeah, it's only the beginning.
Thank you for the clarification. That was very helpful.
You're welcome, Dave.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Piper? Okay. If we don't have any other questions, then we can move on to the motion. If somebody would be willing to make that tonight.
Well, since I did so much talking, I move that we approve the urban renewal budget for 2021-22.
All right. We have a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second?
I second that motion.
Okay. I think that one slipped in with
Clark Kent.
Mr. Kent. So,
Yes.
yeah. We have that. Do we have any discussion before we vote? Okay, we will go ahead and proceed to vote. Start with Mayor Knutson.
Mayor Knutson votes yes.
Misty Inman.
Misty Inman votes yes.
Alonso Castilla.
Costilla votes yes.
Shelley Clark.
Shelley Clark votes yes.
Jerry Hutchinson.
Hutchinson votes yes.
And Dave Stram.
Yes.
Robert Jackson.
Yes.
Philip Smith.
Yes.
Christina Kersey.
Yes.
Jonathan Riddle.
Yes.
Clark Kent.
Clark Kent votes yes.
Shaman Michelson.
Yes.
And Kevin Prachu also votes yes. So we have unanimous approval on that. Congratulations.
Thank you, agency members and budget committee members, for this this motion. Appreciate it.
All right, that takes us to item number 8, which is the motion to approve the taxes for 2021 and 2022 fiscal year. And who has that item? Is there any I only have it listed here in the agenda, but don't know who has it.
Jim, are you going to present that item?
So the motion for the taxes is important as far as collecting the taxes at the Lane County Assessor's Office. So we have to have a motion, and it has to be passed in order to take this further. In other words, in order to collect the incremental taxes.
I move to approve collection of the maximum amount of funds from Division of Taxes under Section 1C, Article 9 of the Oregon Constitution in accordance with the approved Creswell Urban Renewal Agency Plan and as provided in ORS 457.420, parentheses 1, to be certified by the tax assessor.
Thank you, Mr. Stram. We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Councilor Castilla seconds. Any discussion? And then we will proceed to vote, starting with Mayor Knutson.
Yes.
Misty Inman.
Misty Inman, yes.
Alonso Castilla.
Costilla votes yes.
Shelley Clark.
Shelley Clark votes yes.
Jerry Hutchinson.
Hutchinson votes yes.
Dave Stram.
Yes.
Robert Jackson.
Yes.
Philip Smith.
Yes.
Christina Kersey.
Vote yes.
Jonathan Riddle.
I vote yes.
Clark Kent.
Clark Kent votes yes.
Shaman Michelson.
Yes.
All right, we have, oh, and Kevin Prachu votes yes. Now we have unanimous approval of the motion for taxes. Okay, that takes us to the end of the meeting, and I believe I can adjourn that meeting. All right, so we are adjourned at 6:27.